Are you looking for a rewarding career in education? If so, join us on March 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Everett High School cafeteria. School officials will be there to provide on-spot interviews. Please pre-register using the QR code or the link in the description. Education? If so, join us on March 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Everett High School cafeteria. School officials will be there to provide on-spot interviews. Please pre-register using the QR code or the link in the description. Please pre-register using the QR code or the link in the description. Are you looking for a rewarding career in education? If so, join us on March 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Everett High School cafeteria. School officials will be there to provide on-spot interviews. Please pre-register using the QR code or the link in the description. Are you looking for a rewarding career in education? If so, join us on March 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Everett High School cafeteria. School officials will be there to provide on-spot interviews. Please pre-register using the QR code or the link in the description. From 5 to 7 p.m. at the Everett High School cafeteria. School officials will be there to provide on-spot interviews. Please pre-register using the QR code or the link in the description. Are you looking for a rewarding career in education? If so, join us on March 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Everett High School cafeteria. School officials will be there to provide on-spot interviews. Please pre-register using the QR code or the link in the description.
Good evening and welcome to the Everett School Committee regular meeting for Monday, March 2nd, 2026. The time is 6:34 p.m. Clerk, could you call the roll to determine a quorum?
Student Representative Emma Perry.
Present.
Mr. Almeida Barrows.
Present.
Ms. Babcock.
Present.
Ms. Cardello.
Present.
Ms. Cornelio.
Present.
Ms. Cristiano.
Present.
Mr. D'Onofrio. Ms. Guerin.
Present.
Mr. LaMonica. Mayor Van Campen.
Present.
Chairperson Hurley.
Present. 8
members present, Madam Chair.
8 members present. We do have a quorum. If everyone can join me in saluting the flag and then remain standing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If you remain standing,
Ms. Cardillo.
Want to pay tribute to a woman that worked for our system, our district, for a long time. Her name was Irene Reardon. Some of you may remember her. I'm sure some of our teachers that aren't even working anymore, they may be retired, had worked with her. Some people actually had her for a teacher. Irene Reardon, she retired elementary teacher. She passed away unexpectedly at 92 years old. She had still been doing well, been very active, so that's why the family says unexpectedly. She died at the Melrose Wakefield Hospital a few days ago. She taught grades 3 through 6 exclusively at the Hamilton School, which we now know as the George Cavarian School, beginning her service in Everett Public Schools back in 1966. Irene was an exemplary educator, loved by her colleagues and all students alike. May she rest in peace. Now, if you'll remain standing, I would like to offer a moment of silence for all the people that are fighting in wars right now, no matter what side they're on. Everybody's a human. Let's pray for everybody. Let's hope that this works out well for all and not have a lot of loss of life. And let's just remember everybody in our prayers. Thank you.
Thank you for the sentiments, Ms. Cardillo.
Thank you.
If I may, from the chair, just to let everyone know, Mr. LaMonica regrets that he was unable to attend this evening. Mr. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Item number 3, reading of the records for Monday, February the 2nd, 2026.
Make a motion to waive the reading of the record and place them on file.
Second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Babcock, seconded by Ms. Cornelio to waive the reading from Monday, February 2nd, 2026 and place it on file. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 4, public comment.
Make a motion to open public comment.
Second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Babcock, seconded by Mayor Van Campen to open public comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Public comment is now open. Seeing no speakers on the sign-up sheet, is there anyone interested in speaking at public comment? Seeing none.
Move to close public comment.
Second.
Motion made by Mayor Van Campen, seconded by Ms. Cardillo to close public comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 5, report of the student representative.
Ms. Perry.
Thank you. Good evening. A lot has happened at EHS within the last few weeks. The boys basketball team made it to playoffs. Their season has come to an end. However, we are very proud of all their hard work. The winter sports banquet is next Tuesday. There we will honor all of our winter athletes for the 2026 season. The Everett High Theater Company competed against 6 other schools last weekend at METG Drama Fest. They were awarded Excellence in Acting, Technical Excellence for Set Design, and the Stage Management Award. The company is led by advisor Brittany Mitchell, President Olivia Laidlaw, and Vice President Isabella Vaz. All of the crew and performers did an amazing job. Last Friday, EHS celebrated Black History Month as well as CTE Month. Senior Hayana Richmond and the Medical Assisting CTE presented the idea of a luncheon to celebrate CTE and Black history. It was a great event led by class of 2025 graduate Trayvon Carrington. Students shared recipes from Black culture in the U.S. and shared about their CTE or what Black History Month meant to them. I was honored to be in attendance and share the recipe for sweet potato pie, which was delicious, as well as why AP African American Studies is an amazing course students have the opportunity to take at Everett High. An online cookbook is available so you can all enjoy the foods our culinary class made for us at the event. This March, EHS will be announcing an influential woman each morning to honor Women's History Month. Scholarships for seniors are now available online. Guidance is hosting scholarship workshops during intervention throughout the week. There will be a job fair in the cafeteria on Wednesday from 5 to 7 for students and their families. And the junior prom will be held at Oleo's in Peabody on April 16th. Ticket prices have not been announced yet. But save the date for a great night hosted by the class of 27. The senior prom will be on May 19th at Danversport, and tickets have not been determined yet either. The class of 2026 is hosting a March Madness tournament on the 12th and 13th. The two-day event will be held after school and available to all students and teachers. Get together a team of 4 and gather $20 to compete. We look forward to a fun event. The members of the Spanish debate team attended their 5th tournament this past weekend. They debated with 4 different teams. Natalie Ramiro Velasco and Kimberly Landaverde received first place, and Jonathan Chavez and Santiago Torres Escorcio placed second. The EPS String Nights will be held this Tuesday and Thursday in the EHS auditorium at 6 o'clock. And finally, the Parlin School is hosting a parent breakfast this Thursday at 8 a.m. to review MCAS testing tips and strategies to help your students succeed on MCAS testing days. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. Any questions? I would like to offer a heartfelt congratulations to the theater company and all their accomplishments. That's fantastic. Ms. Babcock.
I just wanted to talk about how awesome Friday's lunch was, the food that was prepared, the cookbook. It was such an incredible collaborative effort of all the departments in our CTE program, from the marketing materials to the culinary arts, the student speakers introducing all this traditional food, and I'm just so proud of all our students. The Sheen Shop had 3D manufactured the favors for the table too. So it was like this incredible collaborative effort of the entire CTE program. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning, totally well run. It was wonderful. I'm so proud of our students. So, and you, Emma, you were there too. Nobody could present sweet potato pie better than you. It was good. I'm still thinking about it. That and the banana pudding. So thank you. Well, and if you want, you can get the recipe in the cookbook.
Our motion to accept the report and place on file.
Second.
Motion has been made by Mr. Barrow, seconded by Ms. Babcock, to accept the report of the student representative and place on file. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 6, report of the superintendent. Item number 1 is my update, and as always, Ms. Perry covers all the great things that are happening not only at Everett High School but throughout the district. And I, in the spirit of just reminding folks of all the good things that happen, I may repeat some of the things that Ms. Perry mentioned. For example, the luncheon. That was a collaborative effort, not only internally but with the City of Everett, Mayor Van Campen, his staff, along with his equity officer were in attendance. They supported the event and worked collaboratively with the school department in what was, by all accounts, a wonderful afternoon of enjoying the culture, enjoying the fact that we have great CTE program offerings here at Everett High School, the talent of our students and the commitment by our staff and outsiders. We had some outside folks that came and made mention of what energy, what excitement. I had a local bank president call me today and said, it's just amazing anytime I've been exposed to what's happening at Everett High School in particular, because he's been to a couple events. He said they're really unparalleled, and he's around more than Everett, and he really has a lot of high praise for our students and the work that we do here at Everett High School. So thank you for all of the efforts put on by the entire CTE staff, Ms. Parmenter in the kitchen, the students, and the energy and excitement. And really, when you think about the way in which our students spoke, if you closed your eyes, you would never think you were at a high school listening to high school students speak. They were eloquent. They spoke with conviction, with knowledge, and it's really a testament to the individuals as well. So thank you for bringing it up for both of you. We are celebrating Women's History Month in the month of March. There are events being planned internally and at schools, and there'll be social media posts to also celebrate what we all know to be true about the importance of women in our lives and in career paths. And certainly here at Everett High School and across our district, we have remarkable and talented women who've devoted so much energy and their expertise and time to our students. So we're grateful to have these fine people amongst us all, leading the effort, quite frankly. Tomorrow night and Thursday, as we mentioned, the Everett Public Schools string will be here in Everett High School. It's open to the public, and I think that if you haven't been to an evening with our performers in the band, you're missing out. It's truly a group of young, energized, talented boys and girls, really all becoming men and women, quite frankly, and they're just well-behaved and so committed to their craft. And when you think of our students, and I'm always taken back, I always have been, when you think of fourth graders at the Lafayette School playing violin, 80 kids, 90 kids, and you sit there and you listen to them perform, you say, I'm at a grammar school? I mean, we have talent in this community, and we're cultivating that talent so that these young men and women eventually will go on to greater heights outside of Everett, but they got their start and their training here. So a lot to be happy about, a lot to look forward to in all the things that are happening, and this is just a few items. Some bad news for students, I guess. Maybe you all know you've had some time off because of weather, and most recently we had 2 days off. But as you know, every day that you miss, you have to make it up in June. So we had originally planned to close school on June the 16th. Now we're closing on June the 23rd, which is a Tuesday. It'll be a half day to meet our obligation of a certain number of school days in a school year. So we will continue to put that on our school calendars and remind folks about all of the new dates and times. Let's hope that we have no more school days off so that we can continue. We've had some great rhythm and momentum in our schools, and it's after winter break, there's new energy, there's new attention. We've had, just a side note, if I can, one would think after a couple of days off with bad weather, and we certainly people have had challenges, right, getting to and from school and work. We had high attendance rates on our staff and high attendance rates for our students. That's a testament to people wanting to get to our schools. And while I know some folks have had challenges, and we're going to continue, and Mayor Van Kampen and I have looked at all different ways to make sure that our kids get to and from school safely and without obstruction. There'll always be challenges when we have unprecedented snowfall, but our kids return in great numbers, and our staff, we had 90-something percent, 92%, 93% attendance Wednesday last week, staff and students across the district. So, people want to be in our schools, so I appreciate the energy that each of our staff members bring and our students. Let me just also mention from that luncheon with Ms. Araya, who's the director of our CTE programs, we also we employ Rosemary Hughes, who does a lot of our special events and strategic initiatives. I mentioned Simone Holyfield from the city of Everett. We had representatives from the business community, along with our state representative, Joe McGonigal, and the members of the school committee, Ms. Hurley in attendance, of course, Ms. Babcock, Margaret Cornelio, Ms. Guerin. Thank you all for being there. And again, many outsiders who joined us at the invitation of our school, and all of them left full and happy and proud. And that's what we hope to do every time you come to an event here at Everett High School or any of our schools. A couple of housekeeping items that I wanted to mention. We received notice maybe 5 weeks, 6 weeks ago that we at the city, school department in particular, we're going to have an audit by DESE, which is the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and they conduct these audits. Most of the time we get a lot of advance notice, but this is more or less, they're coming, I don't want to say they're coming to catch you, but they come to make sure that we're doing everything that we say we're doing. And they give you a short notice, and they come into the building for several days in which we have to redirect existing staff to work with them, provide documentation, answer questions. We'll all have to be available. And they conclude their audit with information that they have discovered, if you will, while they were here. This grant, this review was for our federal grants. Now, even though we don't receive them from the state, they come through the state, and when we need to draw down grant money that's federal dollars, we have to get it from the state. They draw it down. We get it to the school district in any number of grants, so Title I, Title II, Title III, and so on. I'm pleased to say that after 3 days here and a couple of auditors working alongside our people, once again, the review of all of that material, and there was quite a bit, the conference room on Vine Street was loaded with material and staff in and out, answering questions, providing support. We came out with one audit finding, which is, quite frankly, a housekeeping item, and it's not necessarily something we didn't do. We just have to find when it was done. It was a review of a vendor. It was one vendor, one action. It was just to make sure that that vendor had filed all the paperwork, all the expenses, all the paperwork, all the processing, all the reports that have been generated for the past year or so with these federal dollars were all perfect. In fact, the auditor, who everyone has said is, I hope he's not watching, I don't know if he's in our region, he's quite a tough auditor, and I know everybody went in with a kind of that apprehension. He came and had an exit conversation with me. He said, Mr. Hart, he said, you have a good school district, and he said it's evidenced by the work in which the detail which was done, and they're using one of our reporting documents, and I want to thank out loud Tracy Haggerty, who works in our finance division under Mr. Barrett, and he can certainly tell you more detail than I can. He said it was terrific. We're going to use it across the state, he said, because it is a perfect document. So it was a great, as much as you all get nervous about audits in particular, when you think about the millions of dollars we do take in federal dollars for supporting our Title I in particular and other programs, that's a great testimony to the workforce that we have here and the precision in which they do their work. So I'm shouting that out because oftentimes you hear audit and you think, oh, it's been good. So I wanted to just let the school committee and the public know that the tax dollars that we're administering have been done with, as the auditor says, with precision and care. So thank you to the staff. We did have, during the February school vacation, what we call February Vacation Acceleration Academy, and that was held at our K through 8 buildings, and we had over 400 students participate in this academy. We had approximately 49 teachers and staff working with those young folks who signed up to come to our schools during that time, and they went from we had originally started 8 to 12 in the previous year, but we extended it to an 8 to 2 day with lunch and a little bit of a short period of gym or some kind of an enrichment activity. And again, just to remind you that these academies that we run are very specific in nature. It's not a fun time, playtime week. It is a week filled with enrichment, so that we invite students and families to come to these academies, and we hope that they do upon our invitation, because they are most likely will benefit from being there, because maybe they've had a challenge during the several months prior to the February vacation. Certainly we'll have again in April. It's very targeted on areas that we know we want our students to be stronger in. So we did that. It was a great turnout. Certainly we would have loved more, but 400 students was a good number, and we'll hope to see at least that at our April school break. We do have, for many of you who remember, we run family universities. We had one this past year. We will have another family university a week from tomorrow night on Tuesday, March 10th from 5 to 7:30. This time we're going to hold it at the Parlin School, which is, it is going to be a district-wide event, but we're going to hold it up there. We have workshops that are being offered by not only Everett Public School staff, but the Cambridge Health Department and Health Alliance, the Youth Development Office from the city. We'll have interpretation available for families, and I just encourage people, if they'd like to learn a little bit more about Everett Public Schools, about the programs, about some of the things that Cambridge Health Alliance or the city has to offer, they should try to attend. Again, it's free. We always have food. We always make sure that people are fed when they come to our events. And there's several sessions that people can participate in, and then it's kind of a rotating schedule so that if you want to do a couple of those sessions, they're continuously running, so you move from classroom to classroom. And this is an opportunity, obviously, for no matter what language you speak, at least in the primary languages that we support here with interpretation, that'll be available for families so that everybody can listen and understand and learn new things that are happening in the city and, of course, the school district. Everett High School Theater Company, I know that they had just competed, as Ms. Perry told you, but this coming Thursday, March the 12th, here at the auditorium, they are going to put on their performance of The Lottery, and this is based on a short story by Shirley Jackson. This is what they performed when they went to the weekend in Boston in competition. So tickets are $5 for adults, and of course we try to only take cash because we don't have a way to collect charge cards at this point. March 18th, following night, we will have Biliteracy Night, which is something we also hold on a regular basis. This is all supported by Title I and Title III grants. Again, back to the amount of activity that those grants support is significant, and so record keeping and paying bills and so forth and doing it appropriately is important. That's what our audit was about. We do have a lot of events. Excuse me. This Biliteracy Night will be held at the Cavarian School from 4 to 5:30, and we hope that folks will take advantage of it. Again, we do serve food. We have free books for students and their families to take home, and other literacy activities, again, that we run during the school year. And this is just kind of a family night to do it with family members. So hopefully the weather will be kind to us and we'll have families attend. And we've had very good attendance, quite frankly, on these events. Last Friday afternoon, we not only were celebrating CTE month and the conclusion of the month with a luncheon and Black History Month, at the same time at the State House, one of our employees, an Everett High School teacher, Cloudy St. Just, was being honored as this year's Black Excellence on the Hill Award. As you may remember, last year we were also fortunate enough to have one of our staff from the Lafayette School, our custodian, Shannon, who received that distinction last year. We were once again pleased to hear that one of our faculty members here from Everett High School was going to have that award. Mr. Lynch took a contingent of Everett High School staff to celebrate and acknowledge this distinguished award that was given at the State House. And I want to thank the committee who selected Mr. St. Just from a number of candidates from across the state. Many were honored from different parts of the state, but we were happy to once again have an Everett person represented at the awards ceremony on the Hill. And this is issued by the Massachusetts Black Caucus and Latino Legislative Caucus. And again, this is a relatively new award, and we've been fortunate enough to have recipients in the last couple of years. Friday also was a very busy day, as usual, here at Everett High School. I attended in the morning, right here in this very location, the Tide Rises Award. If many of you already know that each month the committee receives recommendations or nominations for the Tide Rises Award for Vision of the Graduate. And again, I'm going to remind you that the things that we hold true for Vision of the Graduate are kind of listed behind me on the posters, and each of them represent a particular value that we hold true for our Vision of the Graduate. So those are behind us. And this particular month was asking staff and teachers to nominate students that showed self-awareness, and they nominate and send forward to the committee, and then they're acknowledged at this awards presentation monthly. Parents do come, teachers who nominate them come. Their nomination is read out loud. They take pictures with family and others here, and they receive a few kind of Everett High School promotional materials. We're always promoting our school, and T-shirt in the summer, as we get closer to summer, sweatshirts. There's all kinds of things that we give our students to recognize their resilience, their innovation, their self-awareness, their empowerment, or service-mindedness. And it is never shy of nominees. I mean, there was a number of young people that, again, were, and they're not always the same students, so it's great because different faculty and staff nominate them. So once in a blue moon, I think you may see the same student show up from month to month. But generally, again, it reminds us how great our students are, and they're being acknowledged. And I think they love the fact that a member of the faculty or staff took the time to write it about them. And you see a lot of smiles on their faces, and I know the parents are very happy too. One of our Lafayette School students, a 7th grader, Natalia Morello, has been selected to perform in the 2026 Massachusetts Northeastern Junior District Music Festival. This is a very prestigious annual showcase which features grades 7 through 9 students from across approximately 58 cities and towns. She is an accomplished violin player. And remember earlier I said 4th graders? This young lady has been with us, and she has been selected to participate in this program, which will be held on March the 14th. So we all wish her the best. Again, lots of talent, and it gets recognized outside of our school district, which I think is wonderful. We also have a young Everett High School junior, Ms. Verma, will be joining a select group of 24 students at a prestigious summer science program led by professors and researchers from world-class universities in what they call BioBuilder Educational Foundation's Summer Research Program. Again, another competitive opportunity for our young people who've distinguished themselves here at Everett High School. They're invited to participate because of their work here, and we know that many students deserve to go, but they do select one, and we're very happy that Raghav Verma will be joining that select group of students in July. So we wish all of those folks very well. Madam Chair, that's my report for this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent. Ms. Guerin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of questions.
Sure.
First of all, is the DESE audit results, are they public at all?
They don't issue a final report until 90 days, so we get the official email that says,
okay.
And then we have 90 days to say that we disagree with something. So let me say that. So there is a letter. So if somebody FOIA'd me, I would give them the letter, but it isn't final until really 90 days after the report or the letter has been issued. So it's a letter.
Okay.
And then so we're going back with the item that they found to ensure that and it really wasn't actually even on our end. It was at another level, but we have to find out if it was done. And once we do that, I mean, the finding is really moot at that point. But
okay.
So, yes, it's public, but not official until 90 days.
Okay, that's fine. And then I actually wanted to hear just a little more about the Vacation Week academies that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it sounds like they're more academic.
Yes.
Yes. So do like the parents sign the students up for it, or do the teachers recommend it?
So we look at data. So if we want to help young people get stronger in reading and language skills, mathematics, there's a number of areas that we focus on depending on the academy. We look at the data points about which students would benefit from having that little boost. We invite them. We can't make anybody go.
Okay.
So they get invited by a letter.
So the school invites the students.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
But it's open to anybody. It's just that we do invite some because we want them to come.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Guerin. Any further questions for the superintendent?
Make a motion to accept the report of the superintendent and place it on file.
Second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Babcock, seconded by Ms. Cornelio, to accept the report of the superintendent and place on file. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Item number 2 is School Spotlight, the Webster Extension School. Now, normally, if we had a group of students in front of you, I would ask you to let me have them come forward first, and then I would do my report. But because this is a younger group of students, so Webster Extension School, for those folks who may not realize, is located at the old Everett High School. It's been in operation for a number of years, and that serves our pre-K students. It's led by our assistant principal, Miss Laurie Stokes. And because those young students are probably or should be on their way to bed pretty soon, and it is quite cold, I still wanted our young folks to be highlighted. So Miss Stokes, with your permission, I'd ask her to come forward to tee up a very nice little video that you'll watch here, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what it entails. I think she's left something at your place to review, and she's joined by members of the Webster Extension School community. So with your permission, Madam Chair, I'd like you to ask Ms. Stokes to come forward.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to invite Ms. Stokes before us. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Welcome, Ms. Stokes. I am kind of bummed we don't get to have the preschoolers here with us today.
They're here in spirit.
I just turned it off. Sorry. Good evening, Superintendent Hart, Mayor Van Kampen, and members of the school committee, and Emma. I am honored to be here. I'm Mrs. Stokes. I am the assistant principal of the Webster School Extension, where we focus on promoting students' school readiness in many ways, boost confidence and independence, foster oral language and communication skills, as well as build a strong academic foundation. As I sit here with Mrs. Fabiano next to me and many members of the staff behind us, we proudly represent one of Everett Public Schools preschools. Since this time of the evening may not be age appropriate for our students to attend, we do have a video to share with you. It spotlights all of our students who are heading off to kindergarten next school year. At this preschool age, literacy doesn't just mean reading and writing, as you will see. The video that we have has our students engaged in a daily poetry party that they participate in when they come in every single day. So we highlighted that. On behalf of all of the Webster Extension staff and our students, and in celebration of National Read Across America Week, we say thank you, and we'd like for you to see our video.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Stokes, the assistant principal of the Webster Extension. Welcome to our pre-K poetry party.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Fabiano, a pre-K 4 teacher in the Webster Extension School. Children are rapidly developing language at the preschool stage. Reciting poems in a daily poetry party plays a valuable role in its development, and it's a powerful tool in kindergarten readiness by supporting background knowledge. Poetry also supports cognitive development as well as social and emotional skills.
I'm Mrs. Langoni, pre-K teacher. First, reciting poems strengthens language and literacy skills. Poems expose children to rich vocabulary, sentence patterns, rhyme, and rhythm. Repeated oral practice improves pronunciation, listening skills, and phonological awareness, which are key foundations for reading and writing success in later grades.
Hi, I'm Miss Mitchell. I'm a special education ILP teacher at the Webster Extension. Second, reciting poems supports memory and cognitive development. Memorizing short poems helps preschoolers practice recall, sequencing, and concentration in an age-appropriate and enjoyable way. These skills contribute to overall academic readiness.
Hi, I'm Mr. Estabrook, a special education inclusion teacher. Third, reciting poems builds confidence and communication skills. Standing in front of peers and speaking aloud helps children become comfortable expressing themselves. This early exposure to public speaking nurtures self-confidence and positive self-esteem.
Hi, I'm Jean Dixon. I'm a pre-K paraprofessional. Finally, participating as a group, reciting poems promotes social development. Children learn to take turns and listen respectfully, as well as explore emotion and imagination in a safe and structured way. This reinforces cooperation and classroom community.
Hi, I'm Ms. Hardy, and I'm a preschool teacher at the Webster Extension. In summary, reciting poems is not simply a performance activity. It is a developmentally appropriate educational practice that supports language development, cognitive skills, confidence, and social skills. This activity helps lay a strong foundation for lifelong learning and communication.
That was very nice. Thank you so much. It is truly an excitement when you go into those buildings with the pre-K programs. We have one program at the Adams School and one at the Webster Extension. And if you ever have a bad day, that's the place to walk through, because the smiles and the innocence and the fun of those young boys and girls is truly makes a joyful day. But at the same time, with Ms. Stokes and all of the wonderful folks you saw on that video, and certainly many more behind that, our kids are learning, and we're helping them develop, as Ms. Stokes and the others have said. It gives them confidence. It gives them the ability to work with one another at an early age. There's such socialization going on, and the kids are happy. This is a great foundation, and there's much research done about having students learn at such a young age, and that's why we're going to have full-day preschool here in Everett for next school year. And so Ms. Stokes and the rest of the staff will have a lot more time with our young folks in developing their skills and more poetry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Ms. Babcock.
Through you to our guests,
Yes.
I just want to say I love the poetry, especially the last poem, because it's just physically you're using that kinesthetic skills. You're learning about math at the same time. You're connecting your numbers. You're connecting the shapes, the visual part of it too. And they just look so excited to do it. To make the triangle shape, to make the rectangle shape, to compare it and understand that it's compared to a door. So I feel like that is such a great sort of integrated skills approach to, total, what am I thinking of? Philip Maslow, or it's just using everything all together. So I thought that was great.
I do have to give credit to our team here.
You guys are awesome.
They come up with the poems. Every week.
That poem was so cute. That was just
thematic.
perfect. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, because it reminds us of how so many ways there are to learn and how that small option there looks so small on the surface, but it's actually so sophisticated. It's offering so much. So social skills, shapes, kinesthetic learning, vocab. It's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Babcock. If I may, from the chair, I have 3 children that have gone to Everett Public Schools since preschool, and they still talk about memories way back when they were in preschool. So thank you for all that you do. It's very important to educate our children at a very young age. And my son William actually had Miss Hardy. So thank you very much for all that you do every day for our students.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to excuse?
Motion to excuse our guests with
Second.
more things.
Motion has been made by Mr. Barrow, seconded by Ms. Babcock to excuse our guests. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Stokes and Ms. Fabiano, and everybody from the Webster Extension. Thank you very much. Motion passed. Guests excused. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Item number 3, I'm asking for favorable action for an acceptance of a grant from the Barr Foundation in the amount of $160,000. And if you'll permit me, I wanted to say that this is really a very unique and innovative partnership that Everett has never had before. This is going to help us think strategically how to best deliver instruction to our high school students, including those who enroll in our alternative high school. The Barr Foundation is a very well-respected, nationally known foundation that supports innovation in schools, amongst other places and colleges. But this is a planning grant, and this planning grant is going to help support Everett in co-creating a unified instructional vision that will help us deliver instruction in a different way to see if that will produce stronger results in our outcomes of our students. So that once this is in full effect in time, we anticipate seeing a more unified approach to how we address education. I'd like to publicly acknowledge the work of several people. This is not a quick and easy application. There is a lot of back and forth. It's been in development for about a little over a year. It gets reviewed by a panel at the Barr Foundation. There's some critical questions that are posed to the district. And once the Barr Foundation sees that you can deliver, they continue to invest in innovation in the schools. And so I'd like to thank former Principal Dennis Lynch, current Principal Dr. John Braga, our Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, Dr. Margaret Adams, and our Director of Grants and Professional Development, Kerry O'Donnell, along with our Assistant Principal here at Everett High School, Karen Hughes, who met on a regular basis internally and with internal constituencies and looking at research and data and back and forth with the Barr Foundation, and they applauded our application, and they know that great things are happening and can continue to happening in Everett, and they're willing to support that effort, kind of thinking outside the box, having us do things and think a little differently about how we look at our implementation eventually of a strategy that will help move our students quicker and stronger through our academic experience, both at the high school and at the alternative school. So with that, I'd ask for your favorable action.
I move for a favorable action to accept the grant from the Barr Foundation in the amount of $160,000 and to send a letter of customary thanks.
Second.
On the motion.
Motion made and seconded. On the motion, Ms. Cristiano.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to say that thank you. This is really terrific news. I mean, the Barr Foundation is highly, highly respected foundation in the Boston area and beyond. And for them to recognize, it's a lot to say, the kids are great, this and that. This is concrete proof that, people that know what they're doing, that know how to invest charitable dollars, are recognizing our students, our teachers, our administrative leaders, and our superintendent. So I just want to thank you, Mr. Hart. I'd like to also publicly thank the Barr Foundation. And I think they'll be very excited with, continue to work with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cristiano. A motion was made by Ms. Cornelio, seconded by Ms. Cardillo, to accept the grant from the Barr Foundation in the amount of $160,000 with a letter of customary thanks. Roll call.
Mr. Almeida Barros.
Yes.
Ms. Babcock.
Yes.
Ms. Cardello.
Yes.
Ms. Cornelio.
Yes.
Ms. Cristiano.
Yes.
Ms. Guerin.
Yes.
Mayor Van Campen.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So moved 8-0.
So moved, 8-0. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Item number 4, acceptance of a career-connected learning program development grant in the amount of $35,000. This is issued by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and these funds will support the development and implementation of a state-designated pathways program, which also includes work-based learning. So I'm asking for your favorable action.
Move favorable action.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the Career Connected Learning Program Development Grant in the amount of $35,000. Roll call.
Mr. Almeida Barros.
Yes.
Ms. Babcock.
Yes.
Ms. Cardello.
Yes.
Ms. Cornelio.
Yes.
Ms. Cristiano.
Yes.
Ms. Guerin.
Yes.
Mayor Van Campen.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So moved 8-0.
So moved, 8-0. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Item number 5, the acceptance of a partnership for PRISM 3 continuation grant in the amount of $182,000. This is also a funded grant through the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. It is a continuation grant, which means in the first round we did what we said we were going to do and produced results. In this round, for $182,000, we will continue to work with grades 4 and 5 in this period of time, and it'll be looking at curriculum, making sure that our curriculum is I'll call it coherent, meaning that it naturally flows from 4th to 5th grade. It'll look at instructional practices and ways in which we can support our students and provide high-quality instructional material. So it's a whole bunch of activities for grades 4 and 5 in this cycle. So I'm asking for your favorable
Move favorable action.
Second.
Motion made for favorable action to accept the acceptance of the partnership for PRISM 3 continuation grant in the amount of $182,000. Roll call.
Mr. Almeida Barros.
Yes.
Ms. Babcock.
Yes.
Ms. Cardello.
Yes.
Ms. Cornelio.
Yes.
Ms. Cristiano.
Yes.
Ms. Guerin.
Yes.
Mayor Van Campen.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So moved 8-0.
So moved, 8-0. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Item number 6 is acceptance of a grant from the State Treasurer's Financial Education Innovation Fund in the amount of $3,700. I'm asking for your favorable action. Everett High School Math Department Chair, Mr. Dave Babineau, secured this grant to hold a Credit for Life fair here at Everett High School. And this fair, which is run it'll be run during school, and it'll offer students some opportunities to learn how to budget and money manage, and also even right down to how to balance a checkbook if they still use checkbooks nowadays, and be able to build a budget online. And the date for this has yet to be determined until we accept the grant, and then he can go and plan it.
Move favorable action.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the grant from the State Treasurer's Financial Education Innovation Fund in the amount of $3,700. Roll call.
Mr. Almeida Barros.
Yes.
Ms. Babcock.
Yes.
Ms. Cardello.
Yes.
Ms. Cornelio.
Yes.
Ms. Cristiano.
Yes.
Ms. Guerin.
Yes.
Mayor Van Campen.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So moved 8-0.
So moved, 8-0. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Item number 7 is an acceptance of an Everett Cultural Council grant in the amount of $500. I'm asking for your favorable action on approving this. This grant is going to fund and schedule an interactive workshop in U.S. History 1. They'll be held here in the school library with an author and historian, Mr. Stephen Pulio. He had recent piece of his work was called The Great Abolitionist. He will bring students through a journey here at Everett High School, and I'm asking for your favorable acceptance of the $500.
Move favorable action.
Second.
Motion has been made for favorable action to accept the Everett Cultural Council grant in the amount of $500. Roll call.
Mr. Almeida Barros.
Yes.
Ms. Babcock.
Yes.
Ms. Cardello.
Yes.
Ms. Cornelio.
Yes.
Ms. Cristiano.
Yes.
Ms. Guerin.
Yes.
Mayor Van Campen.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So moved 8-0.
So moved. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Item 8 is request approval for a late entry for Everett High School grades 9, 11, and 12 on March the 24th and 25th, and then again on May 19th and the 20th to accommodate MCAS testing. We're asking for favorable action on that move. We did that in the past. So grades 9, 11, and 12 will report to school at 10:30, while grades 10 conduct the MCAS test.
Move to favorable action.
Second.
Motion made for favorable action. On the motion, if I may just ask a clarifying question, proper communication will be going out to families beforehand.
Yes,
so
and we'll have it on social media and other usual. And I want to also recognize Principal Braga, who's here. He's excellent at communicating all kinds of good information to our parents. So if someone says they haven't received an email from Dr. Braga, they're missing out. Lots of good information, and this will also be included.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the late entry for Everett High School grades 9, 11, and 12 students on March 24th and 25th, 2026, and May 19th and 20th, 2026, to accommodate MCAS testing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 7 is items submitted by school committee members. Item number 1 is a discussion of current cafeteria offerings and potential improvements offered by Ms. Babcock.
Ms. Babcock.
I'm just going to open my computer here because I took some notes. Let me just see here. So I brought up this topic, and first I want to acknowledge our cafeteria staff and all the hard work that they do, who feed our kids within a real time and a real budget, and what regulations are mandated. They do a wonderful job. So school meals play an important role in our students' health, their ability to learn, their ability to focus during the day. I did a little bit of research. 25% of kids in Everett live below or at the poverty line. So school meals are a huge part of it. I want to share a few observations and comments that I've recently received from parents that I just want to share with you that I think could be easily resolved, but I just want to bring it up. There have been topics that we've discussed before too, but they've been brought up again. So there's 3 things that came into mind. Portion sizes, which I think are measured out by the state. The comment that the older kids are saying in the elementary schools, it's not enough food for them, whereas the younger kids are not really eating it all and maybe disposing of it. So I don't exactly remember what the solution is, but that's something that we can discuss. So the other topic was that older lunch, like later lunch periods, they run out of the specials of the day or selections of food. So, and again, so at the elementary school level, that tends to again be the older kids as well. And then at the high school level, it's just whatever period you happen to have lunch that day based on your school schedule. So later lunches, some options are not available any longer. I had a couple of parents that were sort of not that thrilled with the quality of a couple of things, and was sent a few pictures and just wanted to let you know that they were concerned about some of the quality, like perhaps like food not thoroughly cooked or overcooked, etc. I mean, obviously, when you're doing food service, it is hard. And we're talking about 7,300 kids across our district. That is a lot of food. And when you have a meal plan, no matter what, whether it's a college, whether it is our school system, the food after a while, there's only so many times you can have a certain thing and then it's not exciting anymore. So those are some of the concerns that parents had brought up to me so options, right? Portion sizes for older kids. And I believe they had a solution to it, but let's go back to that solution and reiterate it for parents. What was available if you were later in the day as well, like that certain things, specialties were gone. And then the third thing is some inconsistent, like I had a parent said that the milk was warm, for example, as an issue. Like I said, it's 7,300 kids. So I'd love to see, do we have anyone from Wilson's here today to be able to help answer?
Yes, I did ask
questions?
if representatives, not understanding all the items that may be asked, I know that 2 of the representatives are here with us this evening. The district manager I think many of you have met before, Joe Amante, and the manager of location here in Everett is a new gentleman, Mr. Damasio, and I would ask Chairperson to have them come forward and maybe address some of these questions.
I have some questions. That's just what I heard. I have some questions. Maybe they can answer them, and we can all contribute a conversation with this.
Make a motion to bring our guests forward.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to invite our guests from Whitson's before us. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Welcome. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here.
Just to add to that, we feed about 5,000 of that 7,350 on average a day. We've also begin communicating since Michael's the new director here. We've went to the high school, and each grade has a student council, and we've already set up dates with each of their principals to have us go in and speak with the students to survey them, what they like, likes and dislikes, so we can alter the menu. Things change all the time. New items come up. Some things they like, some things not so much. So we've already begun that process. Also, our menu program that we have, the FD meal planner, students and parents can go in, they can rate meals, they can leave us notes. So that's another way of us communicating with them. One of the things that not everybody, and we probably need to put more signage out, is that the students, if they're still hungry after they eat their meal, they can come up and get a second portion of vegetables or fruit to help fill them up. But again, I think you mentioned there's portion sizes that we have to follow, and that's regulated by the USDA. The later lunch, we'll look at that to make sure that that doesn't happen, that they should have all the choices available throughout the lunch. We'll monitor that to make sure that's not happening. I think some of the improvements, some of the things we're looking to do, we work with the Everett community growers. They give us a lot. We purchase a lot of fresh produce from them. So what we're looking to do is set up a salad bar at the high school, so students would be able to come and get a salad as an entree, as long as they get a protein like an egg or cheese or chicken to go with it, then it would be able to be an entree. So we're going to add that to the high school. I see you. she looks pretty happy. So we have a spot. We're going to put it at the end of the line. So that'll be new. Also, we have a rotisserie. We're looking to do more scratch meals. So we have a rotisserie to do some pork loins and chickens and turkey and things that some of that we get from the government to be able to use in a rotisserie at the high school. And again, I think at Webster we did a survey with the students, with the younger kids, and they got to try different items, and they put a sticker up if they like it, if they love it, if they don't like it, and they would put a sticker up and let us know. That's the way we would survey them. Any other?
Thank you. Any further questions, Ms. Babcock?
Just to clarify a few things. So I love what you just said about giving the younger kids an option to like say, I like it, I love it, and put little stickers on it. I feel like the group that is really feeling like they're underrepresented is the middle school students. Because what's happening is the younger kids, they're the earlier lunches, there's enough food for them, there's enough choices for them, they're getting a portion size that most of them, that's enough for them. The high school, I've been here. The food at the high school, even, like anything, after a while, you're eating this, I work at a university, we have a food service. I've been there for 25 years. There's only so many times I can have the same meal, but they're still lovely. So I've been seeing the meals at the high school. There's a lot of variety. Rotisserie sounds great. A salad bar, that's my favorite, actually, at the university, because I can make it whatever I want it to be. But it's the middle school students that I feel like the 7th and 8th graders in particular, they feel like there's not much of a selection left by the time my lunch period comes along, and an extra piece of fruit may not be enough if you're only got, say, an X amount of chicken tenders, and the kindergartners are getting the same amount. Is the portions of food for 7th and 8th graders a different portion than it is for, like, for example, K through 6th? That's my big question.
There's a difference in calories. So when you say portion, it's regulated by calories.
Okay.
So we have a dietitian that reviews the menus.
Yes.
So, I guess what we can do is there's different meals that will fill up. If you have a shepherd's pie, if you have heavier meals, then there's lighter meals. We have a meal that's a parfait at the K-8s, a parfait and say a pretzel, and that could be a meal, but that's not, that's a lighter meal for kids that do like that's what they like. But I see what you're saying. If you do heavier meals, more meals that are more filling, then you give those kids that choice. And then you also have the salads. We do salads, we do wraps, we do bento boxes in the K-8s. So you're trying to get the kids that want to get filled up that need that, and you also want to give kids a choice to have a wrap, a Caesar wrap, a turkey sandwich, things like that, because they're so active and running, they don't want to get filled up. So we're trying to get both groups.
Well, if you look at, for example, the 8th graders, the reality is that they could be the same age as our 9th graders so easily, depending on where their birthday falls. And when you get to the high school, it's plenty of food. That's not the issue at all. But when you're in that in-between spot.
Yeah, the short answer is that it's 4 ounces of protein for a 5-year-old and 4 ounces of protein for an 18-year-old. And that's regulated by...
It does, irregardless of grade level. Which is about the size of a
4 ounces.
Right, but
it's the size of a card deck.
So it sounds like to me that you're kind of regulated in the portion, and I think that's what Ms. Babcock wants to understand, as do we all. I think the key here was we do have options for students at all the grade levels so that they can pick the hot meal, they can pick the pizza line, so they have a few options. And so a student who may already understand that a piece of pizza is not going to make him or her filled at grade 7 can pick the hot lunch line and get that 4-ounce option with others.
Yeah, macaroni, pasta and meat sauce, things like that is going to fill them
and
up.
I think I heard you say that, and I know that I had this question before because Ms. Babcock brings up a very good point about kids who aren't full, just period. It may be appropriate the way the government tells us to feed them. I don't want to see any child leave these school buildings that isn't. We talk about feeding our kids. We have to feed our kids, right? So we offer breakfast, we offer, a good lunch, and sometimes it isn't necessarily desirable, but it meets all the requirements. Is it not true that you also provide or give them an opportunity to get more fruit and vegetables, which is not regulated? Would that be a correct statement?
Yes, that'd be correct. So they can come back and get another portion of fruit and vegetables. So instead of them in line getting double fruit and if they sit down, they have their meal and they're hungry, they want to come back up and get an apple or a banana, they're allowed to do that, to come up. That's not regulated. The more fruit they eat, the fruit and vegetables. Yeah, I think the meal is more what's regulated.
When you get into the proteins in that part of the dish, then you're dealing with the sodium content and the fat content, and that's what we really are regulating with the children.
You know what would disturb me, and if I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm hoping that nothing gets thrown away at the end of the day. Are we seeing when things aren't eaten up? So in other words, we don't need a survey to tell us that meal X is not a good meal.
No, what we have is production records. So if we try something new tomorrow, say we try something new to see people say in a survey they like this, if we try it, what happens is we gather the data that would tell us we made 500 portions and they only took 100 portions. So we'll know that's not a good meal. Take it off next month. It's not going to work. If in reverse, if it's we made 500 portions and 470 went, then we know, oh, wow, that's a hit, and we'll put it on the next month. So we keep that data. That's required by the USDA for us to keep that data, but that helps us in our menu program of what's working and what isn't working.
I know I've expressed to you myself personally and to a predecessor of yours here, I don't want any child to leave our buildings hungry, period. And I know there's regulations, but there's always, I'll say it right here in public, there's ways around it. I don't want any child who comes to our schools. We talk about feeding them and getting them ready for school. I don't want any child to walk away hungry. If there's a way that we can support that effort when a child is hungry and comes back, we need to find, and I didn't mean to interrupt, but I would hate to think any child is leaving our schools hungry. And we have food everywhere around here. We feed people at night. We feed them in the day, in the morning to get them into school. I think we have to look at that, and I don't know what that answer is. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I think we all would feel the same way, right? We don't want our kids to leave hungry. We want to give them nourishment. We want to give them options. We want to make sure it's healthy and hot, if it's supposed to be hot, and cold when it's supposed to be cold. But at the end of the day, if they're not eating it or they're not getting enough, that doesn't make us look any better. So I wanted to interrupt because I hate hearing this part that somebody may not get what they need. But I apologize for interrupting.
Yeah, even the breakfast, like it's breakfast after the bell. So if a child comes in that misses the bell and they want breakfast, they'll come down and we'll give them breakfast so they don't miss breakfast. So we always we call breakfast after the bell,
right?
So they can come and get breakfast. I know there's food sometimes in the nurse's office if it becomes an issue there, that they have food that we provide over there for them in those cases.
Yep. Ms. Cornelio?
Yes, I have a question. I've gotten certain complaints from students and parents that they don't have enough time to eat. I know I worked here for 5 years in this building, and by the time, if you were on the 5th floor, I don't know how the bells work, by the time you ran down, literally, and got your food and sat down, you had 5 minutes. Boom, you're throwing the stuff in the barrel, and it's time to go back. The bell rings. How can we find the right time for people to sit down? At least they have to have a certain amount of time to eat the food by the time you're in line to get it.
Yeah, that's not, we don't do the schedule.
Yeah.
You do this, I'm sorry.
Right, scheduling lunches is on us, and to get enough kids through the line in a reasonable time. And you know how...
Oh, I know.
We're serving lunch in some of our buildings at 10:30.
I know.
Lunch is at 10:30 for the first group of lunch at 10:30 in the morning. It's unconscionable. We don't have any space. We have to feed them. Yeah. And we do from 10:30 to 1.
Everywhere I've been, it's an issue.
It's an issue.
Some places, I think the minimum is 20 minutes for lunchtime, and 15 for breakfast.
Right.
And some schools go right to that minute. Some give you an extra 5.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot of time for the kids. We understand that, so we try to make the food as quick as possible. We have it up on the line ready for them to grab
because
and go.
I know going through those lines, I had students. It was insane. Well, I hope at some point that can be addressed and maybe...
If the students want to go to school till 4 p.m., is that okay? We can have a lunch hour?
No, just take your lunch after. But yeah, I'm glad they have at least a good breakfast to start the day, because your protein is necessary even for your thinking, you know?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cornelio. I just have one question that kind of plays off of that. I know you don't handle the scheduling of lunches, and I've been at the high school during lunch, and I've been at K through 8 during lunch. It's very efficient. The students come in, put their stuff down, go in line, get their food, sit and eat. If there's not enough time for them to sit and eat the first portion, and not enough time for them to get up and then go grab something else, could they, if they know they're going to be hungry and they're getting something lighter, could they, when they're in line for the first time, ask for an extra banana or fruit?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
that's okay.
I could tell you what the rules are, but I could tell you the ladies that we have here over the years. They're from the community. They take care of the kids.
I didn't want to publicize the fact that we do give plenty out when kids ask.
I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I can tell you.
I know, we're all going to get in trouble for that.
They
do it
take
with
care
love.
of the kids. We have wonderful people here, they're caring, and they make sure.
Yep. They're wonderful.
Okay, thank you. Could I actually go to Emma and then Emma, go right ahead.
I just wanted to say that lunch is very efficient at the high school. I had last lunch today, so going down it was very efficient. I got a hefty load of mozzarella sticks, so last lunch was not bad at all. I would like to bring back the Italian combo sandwich. That is my favorite lunch, but I'll talk to you in the advisory session. But it is very efficient, going off what Ms. Cornelio said, and then there's options for everybody at lunch. I don't see anyone really with an empty space in front of them, rarely. Someone at least has an orange or a fruit or a vegetable. If they're not getting the special, which is very popular at EHS, there's always a long line, but again, it moves very efficiently. And there's something for everyone. There's a salad, there's a smoothie. So our students are being fed, and I can see that each day, whether I have second lunch on A days or last lunch on B days.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. Ms. Babcock?
Like I said, what I was hearing from what I brought to you today, I was hearing this more from the middle school students. They are in, because honestly, the high school selection, my daughter used to say, she's like, sometimes it would be something that I would love and I just want to eat it every day, and then other times it would be something that she didn't think it was so great when she was a high school student here. So you're telling me that you're surveying the meals. If it's not, for example, I had a middle school family parent. They had tried an attempt at poutine that did not go over well at the middle school. And it didn't look very good. It was fries and gravy with some cheese, but it wasn't. It was just like shredded cheese. And obviously, cheese has protein, and that was the meal, and that did not. They did not love that.
Yeah, we realized
that was before my time.
We realized that.
Yeah, I got a few images of it. I was like, it doesn't look like that in France.
I mean, I think the chef thought he
be creative.
Who's trying?
Well, yeah, he has a lot of hotel experience and thought that to give it a try. And again, you want to try different things for different kids to see. He used Moroccan vegetables with it, so. Again, not everyone's a home run, and that wasn't, and that will go by the wayside.
So I have two things. So one is for Mr. Hart, because maybe you can give him a suggestion. It says, how can we promote the FD meal planner to families and students so that they can see the menus in advance and take a look at what is being offered? Because a lot of times they're like, oh, I didn't even know what was available. So what can we do?
Well, I mean, we did make that. I mean, not that everyone listens to our school committee meetings or follows us necessarily on social media, but those are our opportunities to get the word out. But we have done that in the past with a similar conversation. Back in the fall, I think it was before the school committee, we talked about the planner and the way in which people could participate and provide feedback. We certainly could go back to the students, and I think Mr. Armente mentioned the ways in which they were going to do some outreach themselves to remind students that they have that option to go on, and And again, I think that we could certainly send it out through Class Dojo and the K through 8 with, I know that you're interested, telling families, hey, weigh in if you want to and talk about our food.
That's the
and
app
that we
that they
can
can
share
use.
that with you too.
And I actually have a sheet that I could give you that would explain a quick summary, so that could go out with a newsletter at the schools, how to use it, and so that would.
And that's the best way for families to give feedback, is using the
I mean, if they want, and that goes directly to Joe Amenti and his staff, and then they review it.
Yeah.
All right. So the last thing was to just go back to that portion thing. We said that our lunch ladies are, off the record, are awesome. Not off the record. They're actually really awesome. And my daughter was the one who's going back to get more fruits and vegetables. Always. They're like, go ahead, take it, enjoy it. But a lot of times, because of the limited time, it isn't as easy to grab that extra food if they need it. And in particular, like I said, just take a look at the middle school. Maybe when you're meeting with the student councils, maybe meet with the middle school, because they have student councils too, and they are
that was my plan. Yeah, we'll do that, and
not just the high school ones, but also the middle school ones, because those kids they're smart and they're assertive about their opinions. We've met them a number of times. So, and just check in to see what other adjustments that could possibly make those special meals at the end of the day still available. It isn't here. It's that's where the parents and some of the kids have mentioned that they're, and a lot of times, like if you're the last lunch at the middle schools, you go up to go get something else and they're already cleaning up. They're already, because it's the last lunch of the day and it's time to clean up, and which they have to do. So that's also part of it. By the time they're done eating, they go back to go get something and it's already put away.
We'll make sure that
potentially
we'll take care of that,
depending on the how quickly they ate or so forth. So those were the things that I had heard from some parents, and they wanted us to ask. So, having specials available, especially those middle schoolers, and a variety, not the, I guess, routine.
Thank you, Ms. Babcock.
Thank you.
I have Ms. Cardillo and then Emma again.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We could talk about this subject because sustenance is very important. We know that at every level of our life, it always is. So we need to feed our children, no matter how old or young. In order to do this right, I honestly think this whole thing needs to go into a subcommittee and invite the appropriate people, like the nutritionists, someone from Whitson, and probably like some of the cafeteria workers. I know you don't want to be pulling people off the job, but if there's a time of day where you could get them there, like the head person in a cafeteria, because when you brainstorm together like that, you'll come up, because they're there. I have been to several different schools over the years and watched more food being thrown away, and it just annoys me. I'm not saying from the cafeteria, from the trays. They take stuff, they try it, whether it's that they don't like it or they don't have time to eat it, whatever it is. And I'm thinking, maybe we should just go with soup and sandwich. I mean, like, you can't ruin the soup and sandwich. Well, you can ruin soup, I guess, but it's like, if they're not going to eat it, why are we serving it? If they're going to bite into it and think it's gross and throw it away, they're not eating. It looks like they're eating because they filled up their tray. So, I mean, I like the idea of smoothies because those are quick and easy, and they taste good, and they have vitamins in them, and that is good. And I just think to resolve this issue once and for all, because this has been ongoing over the years. I can remember this, and I want to say that I've been around a while, but it's been going on. I would like to see this go into the Committee on Cafeteria, and I am going to defer to the chair of the Cafeteria Committee right now to decide who she should invite, and that would be Margaret Canilio. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cardillo. Ms. Perry, did you have any more comments or questions?
On the middle school topic, I haven't been in middle school for 4 years now, but in 8th grade every day, I ate a Greek salad, and when it wasn't available, the lunch ladies would make it for me, and I remember that distinctly. So I just want to say how great our lunch staff really is at the high school and in the middle schools, and if it wasn't available for a student, they would make it. And I think that the options with the special each day, my last period class, we look at the schedule online. It's on the website. It's like you scroll down a little bit. It's like the third one over in a gray box. we look at it every day, and me and my friends in my class, we're like, oh, it's quinoa today, and we're excited to try new things. So I think that's important for students too, to be able to try new things that they're not getting to be able to try at home, because my mom makes pasta 3 times a week. So I would enjoy trying something new.
Just throw a mother under the bus.
just to add to the this was Cardillo said, we have a monthly meeting with all the leads. So up at the high school each month we bring all the leads together, and that's when they talk to us about the menu and what what works at Lafayette, doesn't work at England, whatever, and we brainstorm. So that would be a good time if you wanted someone from the committee to come, and we would have all the leads for all the schools there. But
Joe, let me know when the next couple are planned, and we'll pass it along to the chair of the committee, and if it works, we'll post it, and they can go and attend.
Yeah, but really, you should see. There's a lot of kids that are hungry, and there's a lot of kids that eat. I could tell you, and you can tell me, you could say it too. There's a lot of kids that do eat the meal and eat everything, we realize how important it is, and so does the staff, how important it is to them. So,
thank you very much. Yep, Ms. Babcock.
Just one last comment. We do have to keep in mind, not all of us are privileged that if we don't like the meal, we don't have to worry about it, because when we walk out the door, we can go to Dunkin' Donuts, or we can go get whatever we want to eat, or go to Olivetta's or whatever we want. Some of these kids, I remember that Mr. Brady, when he was at the Lafayette, he said to me, and it has stayed with me for the last 6 years. I said, oh, the kids seem real excited about break. And they said, a lot of them are really nervous because over vacation for winter break means they may not eat.
Yes.
So, if I feel like every kid should have the opportunity to eat, because not everybody's going to leave school and have their parent or guardian pick them up and they'll say, oh, I didn't like lunch. Can we go out to lunch instead? So, I know that my daughter was sometimes she would eat lunch and sometimes she wouldn't. And if she didn't, she knew I would take care of it. But not a lot of our kids don't have that same opportunity. They do not. And when vacations come, that time in between, when summer starts and school ends and school lunches don't start back up, there's food insecurity. So I want to make sure that for sure the kids who want to eat get to eat, or need to eat get to eat.
If I may, as the new guy.
Yes.
So I've come from public schools where, Everett is very fortunate to have Whitson's here, and the amount of selections that we give our kids here at the school, you should be really happy with. They might not like everything all the time, but 3 salads, 4 sandwiches, an entree, at every level. Where at self-op schools, you might get 1 salad and 1 entree and 1 sandwich. The selection is much more limited. So yes, I know 7,000 kids is a lot to please. You're never going to get everybody happy on the same day, if it's even 20-30% that are happy during that day. But I can tell you that we have a lot of selection, and if a kid doesn't like a meal, and again we'll figure out a way to how to communicate this, but if a kid takes a bite of a meal and throws it away, they need to know they can come back and say, look, I really didn't like this. Can I get something else? And we are more than happy to provide them with the second meal.
And I know that's been the practice, quite frankly.
Okay, so if that is a practice, great.
Yeah, that's.
And one other way I'm going to communicate with the upper school, and I don't know how much the younger schools do it, but I usually start a social media page for the high school cafeteria and for all the lower school cafeterias. For the kids, they're always on their phone. I don't know what I usually use Instagram. I don't know if that's gone by the wayside or what you use these days, but that's where I usually start on. And but at these meetings that I go with you, to the school meetings, I will ask, what would be the best platform for you kids to follow along. I'll have the menus posted the week before, so you can see what's coming up that week. Any specials that are coming up, I'll put them in advance, just to kind of create excitement and get the kids looking at it and kind of draw them into the cafeteria. I found it was really helpful in the last school I was at, and I think it would be a big impact here as well.
He does a cooking show on Foxborough, the town of Foxborough's public access channel.
Thanks for keeping the paparazzi out.
So maybe we can have a...
Yeah, I'm going to get Chef Charlie on my show, and I know that this school has a culinary program. It's a long way to Foxborough. I don't know if the kids could get there, but I would love to get some of the kids on the show. And it is on YouTube as well. It's called Let's Cook with Mike. You can be one of my many tens of followers if you get on board with that.
How about Let's Cook with Mike in Everett?
There you go. We can do it. You have a production crew here?
We do. Yes,
we do.
Yes,
we do. And we work with we have culinary students that work in the kitchen. So some of the kids actually work in the kitchen. We also do the culinary competition with the culinary department every year, and the winner gets to do their meal at the school, at the high school, and they actually serve it. So
you just bought yourself some new activities. We have a production crew.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If there's no further questions or comments, could we entertain excusing our guests?
Excuse our customers for customer thanks. Our guests for customer thanks.
Second the motion.
Motion made and seconded to excuse our guests with the customary thanks. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mike. Thank you for coming tonight, too.
Before we move on, if anyone would like to entertain a motion to refer this piece to the cafeteria subcommittee.
So moved.
So moved and seconded to refer discussion of current cafeteria offerings and potential improvements item to the cafeteria subcommittee. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Item number 2 is a discussion of the Everett Public School attendance notification process and procedure. It was offered by Ms. Babcock and Chairperson Hurley.
Thank you, Superintendent. Ms. Babcock?
So I am bringing this item to the agenda regarding student attendance and notification policies because some families have shared concern about receiving notices that don't always reflect their students' actual attendance. I have to say that when my daughter was here, there were times that she was marked absent when she shouldn't have been marked absent. She was, for example, like Emma, she was in the student council, and Mr. Enrico would call them down, and then there might be a substitute that would then mark them absent, thinking they weren't there, but there was an email sent and they didn't know. So there are sometimes errors that happen in reporting to the, like parents will get a call. And some of the parents seem to be really upset about it because they're like, I know my kid's in class. I don't know why they were marked absent. And so I guess I just wanted to just see if we could discuss some of the communication inconsistencies. Maybe we can identify what they are because, there's nothing worse than having a discussion with your kid who's like, you were supposed to be in school today and said you weren't in school, and I got a call and they're like, no, I was. And then, with modern technology, you can literally look at your phone and be like, nope, I can see that my kid was in school, or you dropped them off yourselves. So maybe we can just talk about what might cause the inconsistencies. I think that Ms. Chairperson Lambert would like to add that. I have it in the form of a few questions, but I'll let you go first.
Different chairperson.
Chairperson.
Hurley. You said Lambert. That's the other Samantha.
Sorry, Chairperson Hurley.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Samantha's a great name.
It is a great name.
Thank you, Ms. Babcock. To play off of what you just said, yes, I've brought this up multiple times to the superintendent. I am a parent that gets some of those phone calls, and sometimes it's tardy and absent and stuff like that. I think I wanted this on the agenda just so that out in the open and on public record, we could have it explained when attendance is taken, where our students should be when attendance is being taken, and how does that reflect in the system for parents to get those phone calls.
I had those questions too, same as Ms. Hurley. And So those, and I have just one more. So what steps can, like, for example, I think it's going to happen. It's just, there is a human element to taking attendance. So if a parent has received an incorrect notification, what is the established record for kind of like trying to set it straight for the student so that they're not marked absent or not marked tardy? Because that there is a legal ramification to attendance as well. Plus the trust between like the parent and the child as well. You know, parents really, most parents, well, not all, but I know that the parents that have brought this up are like, my kid was in school. So, and the problem is that incorrect notifications may lead parents to just be like, oh, that's just a mistake. I'm not going to even listen to it anymore. So we'll let you
I'm going to
talk
give just
about
some
the
general
process.
comments to address. Again, items like this can be so different depending on the circumstance and who may have registered a complaint. Or a call or an email. And yes, can errors occur in a system? And I'm assuming that most of your concerns come out of Everett High School because the 2,300 kids in a building and trying to jam into the building at a certain time in the morning can be crazy at best. The fact of the matter is, and I'm going to talk about generalities because I don't know every specific instance, and I know a couple of us received an email from a parent who raised a concern about recorded tardy. When a student comes to Everett High School, our building is open at 7:30. They're allowed to have breakfast, so to speak, roam the building, and get to their homeroom by 8 o'clock. There are bells to remind them to get to that place. At 8:01, attendance is taken. If you're not in that room, but maybe in the building, that doesn't help you. You're not recorded at 8:01 or 8:02. Bad weather days, that is a little bit more lenient because we know that it's trying at some point in this process, especially with bad weather, or a circumstance, for example, out here on Elm Street that may occur that prevents pedestrians and or vehicles from coming up to allow the kids to get into school at a certain time. When we know those things, while we may record them at that moment in time as tardy, it is an excused tardy. It is not because they're skipping school. So, but by 20 minutes to 10, and I know Mr. Lynch and Dr. Braga are both here to fortify what I tell you and certainly answer specific questions. By 20 to 10, the parent or guardian whose phone number is recorded with us and recorded with us appropriately, because some people don't get the calls because they've changed their number, they don't update the system. They get a recorded message that says, and I know that we had an issue because I think at one point we had an older principal's voice that was no longer here recording the message, and we never changed that recording. The message was still correct. It was just the wrong principal at the time. And it would say, your child is tardy or absent from Everett High School. And same would be at the K through 8 buildings, which we don't have as many of those calls. So I'm using Everett High School as the example. At the end of the day, which I'm looking at the time, a parent would get a call at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to move it down a little to be a little bit earlier. Parent, guardian, whoever's name and phone number is on their contact, would get a follow-up call confirming what we reported earlier. So let's just say, for argument's sake, somewhere along the line it said that, Bill Hart was absent. We picked that attendance up because he's not absent. He's still in the building. He just didn't go to homeroom, and his attendance is picked up at a later class. The phone call that you get at now, I think 3 o'clock, Dr. Braga or Dennis, we were looking at 3 o'clock as potentially, but right now it's 6. It would say, nope, your student was tardy. This is Everett High School calling, your student was tardy. So it corrects the record, so to speak, in that particular example. Now, there's lots of other scenarios that could exist, including just being wrong completely because somebody came in and didn't show up to class. They just didn't go. And so we record them as absent. They might be here. Their mother or father or guardian thinks they're here, but they're not. Now, we record tardy even though they may still be in the building because legally we have to do that too. But that's just a quick scenario that I know occurs. But I want to just make sure that all folks understand, while you may get a call or two from a parent, and Dr. Braga, you can correct me, Mr. Lynch, you're here, I don't think that we get a handful of phone calls from parents at the school that suggest that something's wrong. But I could be wrong. I'll let you guys speak to that, and I hope that helps. I mean, because an incident may occur that may have been somewhere an error, it does not mean that that's prevalent at the school, that we have to redo our system, that we have to say, oh gosh, we're really bad at this. Because we do hear from parents on a lot of things, and that really isn't one of them. However, I'm not saying even if it's one parent, if we made a mistake, we own up to it, and I know in a particular case that has happened. So if you want and ask more specific process questions and maybe give you a lot more scenarios, I would ask you to invite both of those folks forward. Mm-hmm. Dr. Braga's here, Mr. Lynch, Assistant Superintendent of Student Services. Both of them kind of monitor this for us, so I welcome that.
Would anyone like to entertain a motion to
I'll make a motion to bring Dr. Braga forward. Want a second?
Motion made and seconded to invite Dr. Braga before us. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Welcome, Dr. Braga. Could we also entertain a motion to invite Assistant Superintendent Lynch before us as well, since he stayed for this? Thank you. Motion made and seconded to invite Assistant Superintendent Lynch before us as well. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
And once again, I'd like to mention that Dr. Braga communicates attendance policy to students and staff, students and families on a weekly basis. I saw our most recent one, actually. It's very clear about the expectations, especially at Everett High School, and how you can get recorded tardy or absent, depending on which scenario you fall under. But I think both of these gentlemen have had firsthand experience with the system and the activity of our students, and concerns that Ms. Babcock and others may have, Chairperson Hurley. So if you have specific questions, maybe they can address them better than I can.
Sure, Ms. Babcock.
I can honestly say that when my daughter was here, at least once every 6 weeks, someone would incorrectly report her absent because of random circumstances. The superintendent gave us some great examples of how that happened. Like, you got called down just to do the school committee, and somehow the homeroom teacher didn't. She's like, I told them, but then they were like, yeah, okay, whatever, and then it just didn't happen. So, and I do believe, like, maybe in the past, each homeroom was slightly like, if you're okay, as long as you're in there before we switch periods, and before I bring it down, it's okay. And then there's maybe a substitute. So I'm just curious, if you could just clarify exactly the time, and this is for everybody who's listening, so that the parents will know too, the time that attendance will be taken in homeroom.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be happy to. So in this past, first I'm Dr. Braga, Principal Everett High School. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for inviting me here. So in the most recent communication I sent out to families, and all our communications are posted on our website as well. If you'd ever like to see them from this past Sundays to all the other Sundays. But each Sunday I send out a different communication, and some things are recurring. But for this week, I did put that policy right at the top. And so I'll just go through it with you shortly. So 7:30 a.m., the Everett High School doors open, breakfast is available. Sometimes I'll open it a little bit earlier if the weather's cold or if it's raining. 7:45, students move to their homeroom, so students then move to homeroom. Homeroom begins at 8 a.m. At 8:01, we begin to mark students tardy, and that's both for students coming in the door and also students who arrive to homeroom at 8:01. At 8:07, homeroom ends, and students move to their first period class, at 1A or 1B, depending on the day. And then we do take and consider the weather or different conditions that may be taking place in terms of excusing tardies. So, I know that policy seems a little rigid. The reality is that we have to make sure that we have accurate attendance to the best of our ability every day. So that's why it's so important that at that time we start marking students tardy so we have an accurate record. We have a couple things that do support us during the day. We do have a messaging system that we work through here in the building. So if a student arrives to first period and for some reason they're marked absent but they're in the seat, a teacher will email or send a message and then we'll change that record. So that's helpful as well too. So we try to be as consistent and with attendance. Do mistakes happen? They do. When I do get calls, I will make the change. I'll have a personal conversation with the parent or if it's by email. So those are some of the things we have in place to support with overall attendance. And we are checking attendance on a regular basis. So we are checking it throughout the day. If there is any mistakes, we'll go back. I mean, like for example, on Mondays we have MCAS, so students go back to homeroom, so we get a second chance to make sure that attendance is accurate. So that's, again, the policy and procedure we have in place. Could a mistake happen? It definitely could. Do we fix mistakes? We do. I mean, that's why we have to stay in communication throughout the day to have accurate attendance.
I don't know if that addresses, because that's something that's been in place even, maybe back when your daughter was here, and I'm sorry to hear that every 6 weeks you had an issue like that, because I don't think that we've had that kind of feedback. If both members Hurley and Babcock have heard from parents, what's been your experience? Have you had that many phone calls of people concerned about errors, mistakes, parents coming, or has it been what you told me last week that it's been very few?
It's been few. I don't get too many calls of complaints in terms of attendance. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Emma.
I wanted to say it's the student's responsibility to be in the right place at the right time and to be in homeroom on time. If a student's marked absent, it's usually because their homeroom teacher didn't mark it correctly, which isn't always their fault. It's not necessarily the system. And my first period teacher, if that ever happens, will tell me, email your assistant principal, and then again, it's still the student's responsibility. Like your daughter's probably in her coach's room, and there was just a discrepancy within. So it's the student's responsibility to make sure their homeroom teacher knows. They can send them an email. So I believe students need to be more aware of where they are and communicate with their parents that it's just an issue that's going to be revised by their assistant principal.
Thank you, Emma. Ms. Babcock?
How is attendance taken? I assume it's taken electronically.
Through Aspen, yeah.
Through Aspen. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, you're not wrong, because she would come in and she would say, "Hey, I'm here," then drop all her sports equipment somewhere. That's just her particular case. And sometimes they would not. They'd be like, "Oh, really? You were?" So no, it's like I said, it's not infallible. I don't think the whole system is wrong. It's just that there was a parent that was concerned that their child was being marked absent when they weren't, and they asked me to put it on the agenda. I think it's very smart for us to have a conversation, because everybody has now heard exactly how it works, what time the door opens, what time homeroom starts, what time attendance is taken. And Emma was very kind to say, you know what, if something like that happens, email your vice principal. If there is a mistake, and it will be adjusted. So
I hope everybody does hear that, because not everybody watches this. That's why it's important for folks to look at the website, to follow the emails that they receive from Dr. Braga, to take some personal responsibility.
Yes.
And of course, we do have from time to time reminders. We send in the lower grades, we send reminders through Class Dojo for parents to get their students in on time. I'm just cautioning this conversation because it is not a huge problem, and I don't want people to be mistaken by this. This is just information about practice and policy, and sometimes mistakes happen. 2,400 kids in a day. A parent was correct in calling us, and we would have corrected it upon the phone call, and we did. It can happen, but it is not rampant. It is not a systemic concern. We want to be sure the kids are in the school and on time. And, we appreciate parents and guardians and others to help us get their kids to school on time so that we won't have this. We did get better with the information and how we call folks. And again, we always ask parents to be sure, parents or guardians to be sure that their contact information is also up to date, because that's another issue we have, that people change numbers left and right with cell phones, and we have to have current information to contact them through the system, because the system can work if we have that information. We've had a lot of bad information that we're trying to correct as well.
I just want to indicate that I don't think this is a systematic error. I think that it's more, students not being as transparent as they probably should, as well, and being so. That was not the case. It's just so if a parent had a concern about it, that would at least, and now they know how it actually is. Because not everybody knows. The one other question someone had asked was about the possibility of it not being a phone call per se, but the possibility of a text messaging system.
We're looking into that. Mr. Lynch has started that process. We do know that some other districts do both or just a text. We're looking at the option. Currently, our system that we currently own does not allow us to do that. Otherwise, we would have already done that. It's just we may have to buy either additional software, and we're looking at that already. We've talked about that for a bit. I think we're just waiting for some cost analysis.
So we use School Messenger, which speaks to Aspen.
Yes.
And so that would go through. So one point that I did want to bring up, which is an important distinction that was made, back in 2021, we did change the way the calls went out where they were combined. Your child is either tardy or absent. So recently, which makes sense, we went back to the other way that says your child is tardy, your child is absent. So it differentiates between the two rather than, because that does create confusion. All right, well, especially for the older kids, right, the high school, they're self-sufficient. They could be leaving in the morning, doing their own thing. Mom, dad, whoever's at work, was Dennis absent or was he tardy? So we've made that correction there, which is good. A lot of districts don't do the tardy, just the absent. We think it's important here to have the tardy as well, because if you take an hour or two to get to school, mom and dad wants to know that. So that was a change that we did make. I think the text is probably the way that it's just easy. They can see, okay, and check it up. So looking through Constant Contact is another one. We've been using School Messenger here in this district for years and years. It works well with Aspen. So that's what it does. It will pull that file, and then it sends out those automated calls so they know. Just to go back a little bit of the history, when I became the principal here now 3 or 4 years ago, I reinstated homeroom. So homeroom, it was first period. There was just that wide 75-minute block to take attendance. Having the homeroom, you should know by 8:07 when that homeroom bell rings who is in the school and who is not. It's the most important thing is to know if your kid is here or not, your student is here or not. Do mistakes happen? They do. They're usually corrected. The other important thing at the high school level, homeroom is taken every class. So usually those mistakes, if there are mistakes or if someone missed homeroom, they came in tardy, they were with a coach, they were doing anything else, that will be caught by the first period teacher, the second period teacher throughout the day. Those discrepancies are sent to the assistant principal by grade level, and then those are usually corrected through there. We've gone to an automated system for tardies that automatically speaks to Aspen. So if they get through, they'll scan their ID, it automatically puts them into the system, and then they're marked. And then those calls will go out later. So just as a little bit, it's at the elementary level, when I was there, a little different because most of those students are self-contained, other than they're with the same teacher all day until you get to the 7th and 8th grade where they will start to switch classes. So it is, I don't want to say a little easier, but they're with that same teacher all day. So they're much easier to catch if there are, where you have a homeroom of 30 students and go forward. That's why we keep the same homerooms with our students, hopefully to form that relationship and find out. I know Dr. Braga, since he's been here and in his past, and we've talked about it, taking accurate attendance is extremely important. to your point, there is a human element into it, particularly if there's a substitute in the class and they may not be familiar. That would be, but they do have access to the traditional homeroom teacher's attendance, so they can mark that in real time as well. But it's more of the old roll call vote. You know, is Dennis Lynch here? Is John Braga here? And then, you know, raising the hand and then marking them down. So, but to the superintendent's point, over the years have there been some incidents? I've got a call, but very rarely. And if they are, they're usually corrected. But it is, I mean, you're their parent, their guardian. You want to know if your child is there, what time they got there, and if they stayed the whole day.
Personally, I'd rather get an incorrect call and then try to have it straightened out than not know that my child was missing.
Absolutely.
School.
Yeah.
We've had instances, just as a quick FYI, last year, when a student goes home and tells their parent, oh no, I was there, we can actually tell you what time they logged in. So we say, no, she came in at 8:39, and I had to have a conversation with the parent because, well, I dropped her off at 7:30.
Yes,
she came in the building at 8:39, and I went through I had a whole list. It happens. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. Because even if they come, as Mr. Lynch just said, they come through the back entrance, we listen to parents about getting people in the building instead of coming around the front. If you're coming from the housing projects or North Everett, you want to come in the fourth floor. So we instituted and we bought a new check-in system. So when they come in, they scan their ID. We know exactly when they come in the building. So we're trying to find every way to get them in here. And just as an FYI, as I report every month, our attendance rate is strong. Our tardies are down. I mean, so we're doing some things right here. And, you know, can things potentially, because of human, you know, it can happen.
Okay.
But by and large, the system's been working, and sometimes a person's child falls through, but it is not something that we experience on a day-to-day basis.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of nuanced improvements to this that I think are going to make a huge difference anyway. When this was originally asked of me, it was almost 2 months ago. So it sounds like there's been some nuanced changes already. So it sounds. Thank you.
No, I think these have been here since the beginning of the school year. It's the only thing that's really changed is maybe the
call
time
between the tardy and the absent.
Yeah. That's I mean,
but that's a big thing.
If I may, from the chair, I missed my opportunity to ask. I was actually going to ask about a text messaging system along with a phone call system, because maybe people don't answer the phones or listen to their messages. I think it's also important, and I'm not sure how we could communicate this, for parents to have their updated contact information at every school where their children attend. Everyone knows who I am, but someone may have changed a phone number, may not have the same email, and when is that opportunity to update that information with the office? I remember we used to fill out 1 million emergency cards and hand them in, so maybe asking parents to have their proper contact information updated at all the schools. But to Ms. Perry's statement, I think it was important to mention, like, the students really need to be where they're supposed to be. School starting at 8 a.m. doesn't mean you step foot in the building at 8 a.m. You're in your seat in your classroom at 8 a.m., whether it's K through 8 or high school. That's how we're taking attendance and we're being monitored. So we do take attendance in the morning, and then we check again throughout the afternoon, at least at the high school.
Correct.
There is that difference with the phone call between absent and tardy now. Thank you for that change. I like that we're looking into text messaging system and phone call system. You are communicating on your end. I like your emails. There's links, and you can click on them, and you give the whole schedule for the week so parents can see the student's schedule for the week, upcoming events. And parents have the ability through talking points to communicate with their students' guidance counselors, with you directly, with the deans, assistant principals now that correlate with the students. So if there is an issue with attendance, they more than have the opportunity to reach out on talking points or via email. Same with the K through 8 class dojo. You can direct message your child's teacher. And obviously, if there's any questions or concerns, parents are more than welcome to reach out, phone call.
Directly to the school, and you get your answer right away. And, not to belabor this point, but we do all this messaging, and I can go and tell you how many people open the dojo account. I can tell you how many people open John's, and sometimes you'll be surprised. Important messages that we send directly to parents unopened. I mean, let's put it all out there. You got to open them when we send it to you. That's why I don't allow on Dojo, for example, advertisements from youth groups in the city as much as I'd want to support that. It's because when you get a Dojo message from the school, I want you to open it as a parent, because more than likely it's going to have some relevant and important information. If it's not specific to your child, it's certainly about the overall operation of that particular school building. So when parents receive a Dojo, please open it. When parents receive a message from the principal, please open it. It's vital and it's good. And, we go through all these steps to make sure that parents know, and we put it in multiple languages. And you can call the school, you can email the school, you can talk to a teacher, you can email a teacher, you have parent-teacher nights. We make ourselves available. Take advantage of that opportunity. Come directly to us if there's a concern. And more than likely, it can be resolved the day that you have a concern. It's a two-way street. We have to have parents and the guardians open the messages.
Well, thank you very much. Any further questions or concerns?
Just one.
Thank you.
Excuse with the customary thanks.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to excuse Mr. Lynch and Dr. Braga with the customary thanks. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you both very much.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Barros.
On that topic, I just want us to remember that what the superintendent mentioned, there are 2,300 kids here, almost 2,400 kids here. And I'm looking at our new mayor. It's 700 kids more than this building can fit. It's pretty much a middle school inside of the high school, right? I know that the mayor will fix this. This needs to be fixed. 700 kids.
No pressure.
Well, that's why we voted for him.
Thank you for that low expectation. I appreciate it.
That's why we voted for him. All jokes aside, it's 700 kids that Dr. Braga needs to deal with. It's pretty much you got a middle school, you put inside of a high school. That this building was built for 1,700 kids. We have almost 2,400 kids here. Are you kidding me? It's like 700 kids more that Dr. Braga and team have to deal with. It's a lot. I mean, to manage 1,700 in a building that is 1,700, that means that you are at capacity. Then you add 700 on top of it. I mean, I'm sure somewhere you got a call that your kid's not in school when your kid's in school. I mean, right? So we need to keep that in mind. This issue needs to be resolved. And it's not on the high school level, but in the middle school level. If you go to the Parlin, we have 1,000 kids. That building was built for 700. Come on. So we need to keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barros. We entertain a motion to refer back to sponsor.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to refer the EPS attendance notification process and procedure back to sponsor. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 8, Subcommittee reports. Item number 1, Finance and Negotiations Subcommittee from Monday, February the 2nd, 2026.
Ms. Christiana?
To waive the reading, accept the committee report and place it on file.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Cristiano, seconded by Mayor Van Kempen to accept the Finance and Negotiation Subcommittee report for Monday, February 2nd, 2026, and place it on file. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 9, Bills and Payroll.
Madam Chairman.
Ms. Cristiano.
I'd like to submit bills and payroll in the amount of $1,472,537.94.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Cristiano, seconded by Ms. Cornelio to submit bills and payroll for the bill packet dated February 24th in the amount of $1,472,537.94. Roll call.
Mr. Almeida Barros.
Yes.
Ms. Babcock.
Yes.
Ms. Cardello. Ms. Cornelio.
Yes.
Ms. Cristiano.
Yes.
Ms. Garin.
Yes.
Mayor Van Campen.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So moved, 8-0.
So moved, 8-0, motion passed.
Madam Chairman,
Ms. Cristiano.
I'd like to pay bills and payroll, make a motion to pay bills and payroll in the amount of $1,472,537.94.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Cristiano, seconded by Ms. Cornelio to pay bills and payroll from the bill packet dated February 24th in the amount of $1,472,537.94. Roll call.
Mr. Almeida Barros.
Yes.
Ms. Babcock.
Yes.
Ms. Cardello.
Yes.
Ms. Cornelio.
Yes.
Ms. Cristiano.
Yes.
Ms. Garin.
Yes.
Mayor Van Campen.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So moved, 8-0.
So moved, 8-0, motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 10, unfinished business, is none before you. Roman numeral 11, new business, there is none before you. Roman numeral 12, hearings, there is none planned. Roman numeral 13, matters for executive session, there are none before you. Roman numeral 14, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Barrow, seconded by Ms. Cornelio to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. We have adjourned at 8:34 p.m. Thank you, everyone.